Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today's guest is Kim Ressler. She's founder and CEO over at SNP Nutrigenomics. Kim, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. Delighted to be here today. How are you?
Oh, I'm having all kinds of fun. And for everybody listening, we were just kind of warming up, and Kim was dropping all of this knowledge. I mean, I had to cut her off and say, wait a minute, I want my listeners to hear this. We can't, edit all this stuff out. So, Kim, I want to get into that and more. We're going to talk about what a SNP is, the name, the reason for the name. Of course, we're going to talk about your company, what you're doing. But first, we'll start with what I like to call our Mission Matters Minute. So, Kim, at Mission Matters, our aim and our goal and our mission is to amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts to get their mission heard to the masses. That's our mission. That's what we do day in and day out. Kim, what mission matters to you?
What mission matters to me is people having the opportunity to live the longest life feeling the best that they possibly can, and understanding that genetics are complex. But that's one thing that SNP does is takes out a lot of the guesswork, simplifying it, making it easy to understand and easy to put in little hacks into your life through all of that we do.
It's great. Love being mission-based people on the line to share what they do, how they do it, and really what we can all learn and gain from that as we kind of go through this world together. So thank you. So I guess just to get us kicked off, did you have before going into this business, before being an entrepreneur, did you have a medical background, or how did all this come to where you started this company? Where'd that start from?
Oh, well, crazy enough, no, I'm not from the medical background. However, I went 11 years looking for answers for my own health. I think that is a lot of people, and I tried so many things, so thousands upon thousands of dollars spent, doing this and doing that, becoming vegan, trying this and trying that. And until I addressed my genetics, I was getting nowhere. I mean, I would feel a little bit better or whatever, but I had no idea what was going on with myself, and nobody could tell me what was going on, or why I never felt good, didn't have good energy, brain fog, terrible digestion. And I was doing what we call everything epigenetically correctly. So whole foods, exercise, mindset. I was doing everything else, but I wasn't going to the core of what was me, which was my own genetics.
How did you discover this field in the first place? What was the revelation or the introduction?
Well, crazy enough, in 2014, a very dear friend of mine had reached out to me, and she said, they've told me that my son is ADHD, and that we need to do something for him at school, and I refuse to put him on medication. And she said, I'm having his genetics tested, and I think that there's some answers in there. I watched her over a 9-month period spend $10,000 on virtually one gene, and then custom formulating on that one gene. And it was a night and day difference for that child. And I was like, I wonder if this is the answer for me. And I was ready to go down that path. And then the technology that I work with literally landed in my lap a few days later when my husband and I were both getting ready to start on our own genetic mapping.
And so what did that first, what was the first foray as you started going through there? Because so now you have this idea, and just to kind of paint the picture, you have this idea, and you're like, oh, maybe that's going to work for me. It worked for somebody else. And now you begin the journey. What was that like?
Well, I mean, we all want hope. We want to think that, we found something. What was more powerful about it was me. We started, everybody talks about biohacking, but, truly, how can you biohack yourself unless you know what you're biohacking? Or how can you, that was the first aha for me when I first did my genetic test, and I could see my body needs specific nutrients in specific formats. And I was like, wow, what is going to happen? Again, I was filled with hope of an answer of feeling better, better energy, better sleep. I mean, all of these things. And it was very interesting as I saw my genetics, and then as I started to simply address them through what we create, it was the energy, it was the sleep, it was the digestion, it was I was doing things at the cellular level through nutrigenomics that was making the change in my life, and I literally felt like I got back something that had been stolen from me for years.
Mm. And that's amazing. What a story. And I love when people start businesses, whether it's in health or fitness or wellness, longevity, or just, a service business, whatever. Like I met, a CFO that they started an outsourced CFO business based on their own need and their own business and the mistakes they made. I mean, whatever it is. I just like when somebody's solving a problem for themselves, they solve it, and then they take that idea or that nucleus of that idea, whatever it turns into, and create a business and help others with it. I think it's amazing. So let's take maybe a step back for those that are not familiar with nutrigenomics or even SNP, like in the name, SNP nutrigenomics, and maybe explain a little bit more about the science and even what a SNP is, because that's where I don't know what it is.
Absolutely. Okay. So the reason for the name SNP is what we, in genetics, we look at single nucleotide polymorphisms. It's so SNPs. So it's pronounced SNP. So that was the reason for the name. Simple, easy to remember, and a little catchy. Nutrigenomics is ultimately the study of your genetics and what nutrients your body needs based on these, basically, I would call them glitches, little patches that we need when we inherit from our parents. That's never going to change. But these little SNPs that maybe have variants in them that we need specific nutrients to fill in the gap to help that cell function at a higher level. So nutrigenomics answers that question. It literally answers what you need, why you need it, in what format and what dose when you have these genetic variants. We can do this simply now. That's what's beautiful about it. We can do it very simply, where it doesn't have to be a whole bunch of alphabet soup and me telling you, hey, based on your genetics, you need to take 60 or 70 different supplements a day. We have the ability and technology to pull all of that into one.
Wow. And what does the process look like of going through the process? Mm-hmm.
What does the process look like? Well, one, genetic testing. Mm-hmm. Whether you chose to test with somebody else or you want to test with us, completely HIPAA compliant. And then from there, we are only looking at actionable genes. I'm not interested in genes that tell me about your eye color or your propensity to have a unibrow or where you're from. I want the genes that are actionable, that science has proven, plant-based nutrition, vitamins, minerals, micronutrients, can literally fill in the gap. So everything that we do is all science-based, understanding the what and why you need what you need. So I look at highly actionable ones that impact us in our aging. So whether they're related to heart health, detox, inflammation, methylation, everybody's talking about methylation. That's just one little area that we hit. Oxidative stress. We hit all of these different areas together that ultimately function, because genes don't play alone. They play in tandem in systems of the body. And so we go after these systems to help optimize the cellular expression to give the body what it needs so the body can do what it needs to do naturally.
What kind of things have you seen come from this? Like you're working with somebody and otherwise, and you see and even in your own case, what can be some of the outcomes of this?
Everybody's different and everybody has their own health challenges. One, what it first reveals is these are the areas that you need to focus on or in your aging process. But one person may not, quote unquote, feel anything from it. But that would be my husband. He doesn't feel anything, but he does his blood work 2 times a year, and we can see his blood work is drastically improved. For me, what it's done is, energy, better sleep, better digestion. My joint mobility is amazing. My ultimate issue is I had been dealing with 2 autoimmunes that had gone undiagnosed for 11 years. And I live feeling great without using pharmaceuticals. I don't need them. So everybody's story is a little bit different of what they've dealt with. We just want to help the cells function at that optimal level so that the body can basically, I'm a big believer that you give the body what it needs, the body will do what it needs to do.
Wow. And so what has been the response to this? And I mean from either clients or otherwise, as you go around and you start talking about it and you start, educating individuals, what kind of response have you gotten?
people are really interested. They are tired of the guesswork, not knowing. Not only that, I mean, let's think about patient versus profit. And in general, people are that, oh, try this and try this and try this. Well, your body actually knows what you need and why. So people are really excited about this technology finally being here. We can take multiple genes, multiple actionable genes, and formulate for an individual all into one supplement what the body needs on a daily basis instead of you. So people, it's cost savings. It's simple. The simplicity of it. It's very straightforward. And yeah, I mean, they're excited. At first, truly, Adam, I've been working with this technology for 6 years now. But at first, people are like, oh, is this really possible? A biochemist, I studied, what the reaction would be with this nutrient and on this gene, and it's all come to light. And yeah, it's thankful to the Human Genome Project and them discovering that there are actionable genes and there's things that you can do. But now the technology to custom compound for an individual, that's ultimately what SNP is bringing. I like to call it hope in a jar because it is one supplement made just for the individual.
So how would an individual know if this was something that they should or they should want to try? Like, are there any signs or any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's from the person that wants to just live a healthy life, live feeling their best. It's the person that is looking for answers. In my opinion, to understand and know all about a little bit about yourself and how you can optimize the weaker areas of things that you've inherited from your parents. I mean, in my opinion, this is what we should know. We should know this about we all should know this about ourselves. This is the future, personalization. The NIH has said that by 2030, the gold standard in medicine will be personalized. We just have it. Delightfully, we have it before then. So as the more people are talking about biohacking and themselves and personalized medicine and personalized prevention, it's just paving the way for us. And it's becoming more, a provider starts to use our product in their clinic and they're like, I've been practicing nutrition for 30 years and I've never seen this kind of results with my patients. It's that type of thing. I mean, it's how could it be this simple and this effective? And it is. So once they see that with their patients, that's when it's like these aha moments. Wow, it truly is individualized for just one person.
Amazing. Kim, first off, this has been great having you on the show today. And for my audience that wants to follow up and learn more or connect with you and your team, how do they do that?
Absolutely. The website is www.snipnutrition.com. They can always send a message to support@snipnutrition.com. We like to pride ourselves on our customer service. But yeah, go look, learn, educate yourself. If you've already done genetic testing somewhere else, we have the ability to literally take that data and turn it into a customized solution just for the individual.
Fantastic. And for everybody listening, just so you know, we will definitely put the links to the website in the show notes so you can just click on it and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day we're bringing you new guests, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way on your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. And Kim, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks again so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Adam.